Senegalia point to mid-off. Mid-on and square legs, slightly more defensive as you would expect. Saywag.
It's interesting looking at a player like Saywag, because so often in the one-day game, and he plays about 40 one-day games a year, he's going out and from the very first ball he's throwing the bat at it and exploiting the fact that the field is up. Then he comes into a test match situation where you're going to not score off probably 90% of the deliveries that you face. Therefore, you've got it for 90% of the time, you've got to have a good defense. You've got to be able to keep out good deliveries, which he did not do in the first innings. That's the one aspect I'm intrigued by. Has Saywag got a defensive game plan against that sort of delivery? Has he learned his lesson? Good deliveries like that, the ability to judge the ball as Dravid does, to be able to get out of the way out of it or leave it. Or does he keep playing everything where his feet don't move a lot? He stands on the crease like that and puts it in the lap of the gods as to whether it hits the outside edge or goes through the gate. He'll get the balls if he survives to hit, and he'll hit them. That occupation of the crease is the key. Talk about a huge similarity between him and Sachin Tendulkar in terms of the look. Exactly the same helmet and grill. Exactly the same pads. He has a similar grip. He's slightly taller, but not that much taller than Sachin Tendulkar. Grip where he has the bottom hand right down on the shoulder of the bat. He tucks his little top hand into the groin area. Good bowling from Tuffy. This is outstanding again. Would be surprised if Saywag also marks his crease and sort of does things in between balls, the same as the great little master. Not the same bat sticker, because Tendulkar has MRF on his. Down the leg side, caught by Robbie Hart, not out, off the thigh. Positive decision by Harper. Good over though from Tuffy, none for none.
Won't be quite the same value on the sticker, I can tell you either. Probably a couple of million US short, but never mind, he's working on it. Off the rump. Good take, Robbie Hart. Good confidence builder for him. Just flicked down.
Two overs completed with no score.
Daryl Harper, I think, has had a good match. Good decision there in that last over. Now, I've seen Daryl Harper in his first last match back in 1987. He didn't have a good one. But since they've put him into this ICC panel of 8, where he becomes a neutral umpire, I think he's very good. And we all know how bad he has been at times when he's been umpiring in his homeland. So here's an example of how the ICC panel system works.
On that subject, I see in the paper that Brent Bowden, Billy Bowden, is going to the World Cup.
Yes, one of 19, the only New Zealander selected to participate as an umpire in the World Cup. February, March, of course, in South Africa. I spoke to Brian Aldridge before the test, and he was disappointed, naturally, that Doug Cowie did not make that that group of 19, Billy Bowden being the only one. There seems to be a feeling that youth is important now. And, of course, the youthful Billy Bowden will get his chance.
Hopefully decision-making comes into it somewhere along the line. Brent Bowden, I know, is regarded by Stephen Waugh, Australian Test captain, as one of the best decision makers in world cricket, and he's held that opinion for quite some time. On the left is Mike Proctor, who was one great all-rounder, South African, played for Gloucester. Yeah, he was a good cricketer, Mike Proctor, man.
Well, he would have been, I don't think any doubt that if he'd played 50 Test matches or doubled what he did, and we'll get Francis Payne to quickly give us the stats on the short career he had. He would have walked into any Test side as a batsman alone and as a bowler alone, and there's only a handful of people who have done that. Sobers, Miller, Keith Miller, Imran Khani, and both of them, and I put Chris Cairns in that category too. Probably 6 players. Ungar off the mark, and India get their second innings underway. Bond going full. I have a slight problem with this field placement with everyone square or behind the wicket, and I just feel that the best way to get a batsman out is to bowl where you're going to hit the stumps, to nick him out, LBW, bowl him through the gate. And I feel you need to have a mid-on or a mid-off, one at least, so that a bowler is encouraged to bowl full. It's different, of course, now for Sehwag than it is for Bangar.
Good stop, Jacob Oram. One without loss. There's a bit of Sehwag. Just a little bit shorter, free the arms. Got onto him a little bit quicker. Probably trying to hit that originally through point.
Bangar underway. Dravid, Tendulkar, Ganguly, Latchman. That is the prime four, the big four. That is where this game must be set up by India. Bulk of the runs. Tuffy again. Bangar on strike. Side screen just been moved into position there. Problem now, as you can see, that the Royal Stag sign needs to be taken away by the shutter process. Aviva Life Insurance gets a plug, and there must be a third aspect to this side screen where we have nothing. Bingo. Three slips, 2 gullies. Oh, good stroke. That's a beauty. Sweetly timed. First boundary.
Just straying onto the leg stump of Sanjay Bangar. So Ample will see the line was just not quite right. You don't have to be too far onto leg stump for Indian players to pick you off through the onside. A lot of people think that's quite a dangerous shot, but that's bread and butter. And you hit it from there. Be a little bit more outside off stump.
So just talking about Mike Proctor, who's the match referee. He's, I think, one of 5 fully appointed match referees by the ICC. Mike Proctor sadly only played 7 Test matches, 10 innings, He only averaged 25 with the bat. He would have got a lot more than that. He would have averaged, I think, 40 odd if he'd played a lot more. He got 41 wickets in 7 tests at an average of 15 and a best of 6 for 73. So outstanding with the ball. Just 7 tests. Good fielding there, Lou Vincent. Just another further thing about Mike Proctor. 4 of those test matches were against Australia, where they won 4-0. This was around 1970. But his first-class career, he'd 22,000 runs at 36, 4,800s, and a world record of 600s in 6 innings, along with C.B. Fry and Don Bradman. Now, Francis Payne didn't write that bit down for me, but he's just given me the thumbs up. Proctor also took 1,417 wickets at 19 apiece. The best of 9 for 71. Most of those would have been with Gloucestershire. Absolutely outstanding cricketer, denied by the political environment in the early 70s. Great to see him keeping Billy in line.
Francis Payne needs to take a good long look at himself actually there. Missing out on that stat. I'd like them written down, please, if possible, in your very best handwriting. Yeah, you've got to feel sorry for Mike Proctor, really, to a certain extent. Most part of his time is fantastic, travelling the world and watching cricket, the game that he loves. But every now and then you get to sit alongside a guy for 5 days. It's interesting to say the least. It's 6 without loss.
So New Zealand leading by 86. Let's have a look at the partnerships that these players put together. And, well, the best one there's 70, Richardson and Astle. And just before Astle went, Gavin Larson, New Zealand were very comfortable.
Yes, they were, Nisbo, that's right. There's some lack of contributions there that stare you in the face, particularly through that middle order. I thought India bowled particularly well yesterday, particularly upon the introduction of Harbhajan Singh from the southern end of the basin. And he accounted for both Styris and Oram very quickly there. Pretty much they gained the momentum at that point, India did yesterday. So they fought back very, very well in this test match. The onus falls upon the likes of Shane Bond, Daryl Tuffy, do the job for New Zealand at the top of this order.
It's fairly close in, but good judgment by the batsman Bangar.
We saw the second new ball do the business for India just earlier on. They took 3 pretty quick wickets to wrap up the New Zealand innings. I think where they improved in terms of comparing back, they bowled a better length, India did. Much better length, and it did show that there's still a little bit of moisture in this basin deck. The ball is still nipping around. I think we've got an intriguing day in store.
Yes, Stephen Fleming would love to have a couple back in the pavilion by lunch, and in India at the moment, okay, it's 6 without loss. Nice relaxing day up on the embankment. Starting to thicken up there now. It's pretty quiet at 10:30. But of course there's this promotion, isn't there? If you're 18 or less, you get them for nothing. That is an attractive proposition.
Yes, it's the National Bank Family Fun Day here at the Basin today.
Good looking shot. Not timed all that well. Might have time for a second. And yes, indeed they do. Lou Vincent, one of the quicker New Zealand fieldsmen.
Siwag's underway, that's his first runs. Very quick on his feet, Lou Vincent. Gets down quickly, gets the ball in the air quickly too.
That's a better shot. That's beautifully timed. Onto the practice pitches and to the fence. That's a classic.
And that's a real sign of the class of this player. Siwag doesn't need a lot of width, and there wasn't a lot of width here either. He generated the width for himself. He picked the ball up on length and he rocked back. See there, very good timing, very still head, hands through the ball. It's a classical shot.
Starting now to show us what he's capable of. We didn't see much of him in the first innings, neither did we see much of Bangar either, but just with those two shots at the start of this over from Tuffy, display of the quality of this player.
Yes, Daryl Tuffy knocked him over early. Peach of a delivery in the first innings, came back between bat and pad, took the top of his middle stump.
Goes for this again. He's starting to free up. That wasn't quite so convincing. And there'll be time for a couple. He's probably just got to be a little careful here that he doesn't get carried away.
Well, New Zealand have a lead of 86. And it's not going to take too long with this man at the crease to erode that lead away. And really, New Zealand will want him back in the hutch very quickly. He scores at a very quick clip. Once he gets his eye in, he is a very, very dangerous customer.
Go! Starting to time it rather well. Let's go back to that first morning. And it was the same combination here. Tuffy, note the green nature of the pitch. Big change, and that's a lovely delivery in between bat and pad. Now it's a very different pitch we're looking at here though. None of those green tinges remain.
No, certainly the pitch is browned off quite considerably.
Goes after this and puts it away. Very productive over from India's point of view. And it's not over yet.
One area that New Zealand bowlers must not stray into with Virender Sehwag. Very strong when it's short and wide like this. This is a genuine bad ball. The width was there. And he does throw the bat at it. He goes at it hard. Big over, 12 runs off this Daryl Tuffy over.
Really is blowing hard again at the Basin. Tuffy running into it. And he doesn't go through with it. In a match so far dominated by the ball, and so an over that produces 12 runs is well worth highlighting. That is the end of the over. 12 off it, and India 18 without loss.
18 without loss. 68.
So, Gav, you're involved in a promotions today. People trying to bowl you out. When's that?
It's at lunchtime, Nisbah. I'm a bit worried about it, to tell you the truth, because it's under 18s now. If it was under 12s or under 10s, it might be okay. I've just got a little feeling I might have a few 16 and 17-year-olds maybe throwing down the old bouncer or two. I might have to get the lid on.
Just get everything behind it, Gav. They'll never give you out LBW. Just don't lose your polls.
14 Test to Richard Hadley.
Yeah, we'll play in the Venus way, don't worry about that. No, it's a good day, a good family day. The first 500 children got a nice little gift pack as they came in through the gates this morning. Of course, it's a Saturday, so many of the local children would have been playing their cricket around the Wellington region. I'm sure they'll be flocking in here probably after lunch. We'll see, I think, a great spectacle here at the Basin, and what a day for it too. So when you have a look at that Indian middle order, chock full of class stroke makers. We talked about the runs average on the third day of Test matches here at the Basin.
Over toss by Bond, and Bangar is able to guide it away for a couple.
The runs are flowing here at the Basin. So just a little push really, wasn't he? Just squeezed that backward point. Happy to use the pace of the ball. Talked about the average runs on the third day of Test matches here at the Basin. The last 5 Test matches here have averaged around 300 runs on the day, but also 10 wickets have fallen. One would suggest that batting will probably be at its best later on today, maybe into tomorrow.
Good pace from Shane Bond, 137. But once again, he's got to get it on target, make the batsman play. Mark Richardson in his customary position, short forward leg. Only one player forward of the wicket on the onside. Most of the New Zealand field packed in behind the batsman. 3 slips, 2 gullies, and a fine leg. Good looking drive. Again, it's a slow outfield. It's still quite lush. And that's well run.